Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Two Dicks Exposed. I am your host, not Mike.
And I'm your other host, not Pat.
And we are continuing our discussion on anime. So if you joined us last time, we touched a little bit on everything that we have watched
For the summer.
This past season. What we liked, what we didn't like, all that stuff.
Right.
And we gave you a little bit of a taste preview of what to look forward to. And honestly, I was just left hungry after that. So
Yeah, we had to go eat.
we're going to eat this full meal. Well, and we literally ate pizza.
Yeah.
But now we're going to really dive into what is coming out this fall.
Yeah, so one thing that I don't think we really touched on is that we touched on like animes that we were watching for the summer season, but there's like at least 4 or 5 other animes that I do want to watch that we didn't even touch on. Death Farce, so on and so forth. There's a couple other ones that were like Reign of Seven Blades or something like that. There's a couple that like I've seen that were like fantastic looking that I do need to sit down and watch, but I need time. Now I'm a family man. I ain't got the time to really do that anymore.
Hey, we all know sacrifice family for anime.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Oh yeah. I mean, that's what our Lord and Savior did.
Exactly.
Yeah, he sacrificed his
family for anime.
Yep.
Oh.
Show Tucker. Anyway,
Rest in peace.
So I figured it'd be great to like actually go over the animes that are coming out for the fall season and talk about them because a lot of them are animes that like we've read the manga for.
Yes.
So it'll be nice to like.
It's like the extra hype because we're like, ooh, now we get to see this animated.
Right, like we've been waiting a long time for this. So like now we're finally going to get it. First on our list is the most obvious one, probably the most popular anime from the spring season, which is Spy Family.
Yes, I am hella hyped for the movie.
Yeah, it's a season 2 as well.
Well, I'm
It's
hella
a movie
hyped for,
and a season.
I'm double hella hyped.
We're getting 2 doses of Anya. We're getting episode and movie.
It seems like a lot, but I need more.
No, I need
so
triple.
much more.
Give me more. Give me like
more.
I don't know. So yeah, Spy Family. If you guys, if you didn't watch the episode we did about the spring season, then like I don't know where you've been. But welcome.
Not here, and that's the problem.
And yeah, it's. I mean, it took the anime community by storm. Spy Family, like I think it beat like it was like the #1 anime for a while as well. Like, it beat out like the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood fan base. Like it was like able to go to #1, and then the FMA Brotherhood like
No, that was that weird.
Oshinoko did it too.
Yes.
Oshinoko did it, but the difference is Spy Family did it as well, but it was like knocked down like within like a day.
Oh, okay.
Oshinoko, like why that one was such a big deal comparatively to Spy Family was like it stayed there for weeks.
Oh, okay.
The Oshinoko fan base was able to combat the Brotherhood fan base, which is like a big deal because the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood fan base is like the biggest fan base out there.
Oh, I'm part of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Easily part of it.
It's one of the best animes ever made. But yeah. So we got Spy Family season 2, and then we got Spy Family Code White, which is the name of the movie.
Okay.
So we're getting both of those.
I'm so excited. Did you read that manga, or are you only watching?
I'm only watching it.
Okay. Same.
Yeah.
Same.
It's so beautiful, and I think is it A1 Studios? No, it's not A1 Studios. It might be A1 Studios.
A1 steak sauce.
Yeah, A1 Steak Sauce does it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why Anya's hair is the color it is.
It looks
Stained.
delicious, right? But the I guess we're gonna have to do like we did with Jujutsu Kaisen. We're gonna have to go see it in theaters together.
Okay. Yes. Darn.
Oh no,
We have to plan a night to watch anime together
Oh, no.
in theaters in public.
I forgot we did see until I literally was like dawning on me. We did see Zero together. In
We
theaters.
did go see Zero.
Yeah.
Right before the podcast started, actually.
Yeah, right before we started shooting the
Yeah.
podcast. Then what else we got? So Spy Family is definitely one of the big ones for this next season. The other one that's worth mentioning is Dr. Stone.
That was one I just never got into.
I love the manga, and I watched the crap out of the manga.
You watched the manga?
Crap, yeah.
You're supposed to read
I
that, you
read the
dumb
crap
dumb.
out of it.
This panel looks so beautiful.
At some point, I feel like I will pick it up because like I did stop reading the manga, and like, the anime is about to be where I stopped reading, so I'll probably watch this anime.
Okay.
But sure.
I might pick it up when it finishes. 'Cause the manga's over, correct?
Yeah, the manga's over.
completed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you never read any of it?
I never read any of it. I watched season 1.
Yeah, it's good. It is worth the hype. I do get the hype.
When I watched it, it was just the best thing available to me.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I can have this on in the background. But
Right.
then, I don't know, I guess just life took over, started watching other stuff, and I just never got around to watching.
I watched
Season 2.
I as much of a nerd as I am, I skipped like some of like the nerdy things that like were like the staples of like being a nerd back in like the mid 2000s.
Like
Now-
wearing glasses.
Yeah.
Well, no, you did that.
No, I didn't actually start wearing glasses till later in life.
What a nerd.
I know, right? But the show Mythbusters.
Okay. Yeah.
Every nerd was like, "Oh my god, Mythbusters!" Or the
I
G4
love
or
Mythbusters.
the game show, whatever. Yeah, Mythbusters was like the big thing. I don't remember I don't even know who the main guys are.
Adam Savage and someone else.
But there's the redhead chick that like everybody's like,
Carrie.
yeah, every like nerd guy is like, "Oh my god, she's so hot, she's the greatest thing ever," right? But she did a deep dive where she went through and like reacted to like the science behind Dr. Stone episodes, and she was
dope.
like, "This is that's true. That is actually how you would make dynamite and all that other stuff." And yeah, they
pretty wild.
did like a myth busted of that, and yeah, she got it. Yeah, it's all right supposedly. So yeah.
Point for Mythbusters and all that stuff. I
yeah.
always thought she looked like Haley Williams too, lead singer of Paramore.
I never cared for Paramore. Again, I skipped some
skipped
steps from like the mid 2000 nerd culture.
Maybe that's why we weren't friends back then.
Maybe.
All right, what's next? What do we got?
Tokyo Revengers season 3.
Okay.
I wasn't. Sadly, I love season 1, but I guess maybe when season 2 came out, like it came out like in like because it came out in the winter season, and I always feel like winter anime season is kind of like the meh season. Most people kind of like really don't pay attention because you got like the holidays going on.
Right.
And for me, no, I was fully living here by then.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. I've been living here for a while now. But yeah, I skipped season 2. I want to be excited for season 3, but it just doesn't like, I don't know. I'd have to, you read the manga, so.
No, I'm torn because I loved the manga up until probably like it's 75% completion.
Right.
And then after that, I was just like, this is so boring and
Right.
repetitive and nothing's really happening. But where they're at in the anime right now is probably going to be beautiful to
Right.
watch. So like,
Worth watching.
yeah, if you haven't read it and you're very invested in watching it, it's definitely worth watching and you should be excited for it. And we can only hold out hope that they change the ending
Okay.
or they just end it earlier.
Where, and where they're supposed to.
Right,
Because
'cause
I
I
heard
mean-
the ending, like it dragged on.
It's there's not going to be any spoilers if I say they could end the anime anywhere because this is a story about a guy who goes back in time, tries to change something, comes back to the future, and doesn't like that future.
It's the
rinse and
butterfly
repeat.
effect.
So, like, technically, they could just end it anywhere.
Yeah.
And have him just be like, you know what? This is the best ending I've had so far. I'm going to live with it.
Right. This is best.
And what pissed me off about the manga is the way they ended it had like 99% of the same ending as one that happened like 100 chapters previous.
Oh.
So I'm like, what the fuck was the purpose of like this last year of me reading this?
Yeah. Like there
Besides-
was a flower to the left instead of a flower to the right.
Right.
It's different.
And like
ending.
all you did was like you killed more people. It's like, oh, you know, get the response. But 10 chapters later, oh yeah, they're alive again. I forgot why I cared.
Right.
So
Yeah, I know Sean, our mutual friend on our manga chat group, he went all the way in on Tokyo Revengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like talking about it constantly in the chat group, and we were just kind of like, just tell us when to read.
he's what shot me off because I remember hearing about it and thinking it was just a normal like school bully type deal.
Right.
And then Sean was like, no, super into it. You know, the whole time travel thing is
got
crazy. And I
really
was like,
into it.
I was like, time travel?
Right.
And then that's when I sat down and read like 120 chapters like that night. And I was like, this shit's good.
It's weird that like every one of us in that chat group, me, you, Anderson, Sean, and youngster Dan, we all have like our manga that we're like hyped, and then we have like some that like we all
Some
share
overlap,
together.
yeah.
Some like all five of us read. Some like me and Sean are big into Hajime no Ippo.
Right. Which
So,
I
like,
don't understand.
Anytime we talk about it, like the chat just goes completely silent. It's just me and him talking about it.
Yep, I turn it off.
And then like you guys will be talking about something, and I'm just whatever. I just find that funny because like, but we all have like our one that only we really read and we're obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
Your manga is getting an anime this season.
So hyped.
I know.
Shangri-La Frontier.
Yes.
If this anime is, if it is true to the manga, will make Sword Art Online seem like fucking Blue's Clues. It's
well, Sword Art Online makes himself look like Blue's Clues.
that's fair. Once they went into the fairy arc, but no, it's so great. It's so you haven't read it, right?
I read a good chunk of it. Like,
Okay.
I read like at least up to like chapter 70 or something like that.
Okay.
I got far.
So like the basics of this one, just to get people turned on to it, is it's a world where virtual reality gaming is like the thing to do, and the main character, he loves playing like the worst games of the worst games.
Yep.
So he's making it like his point to go and find all these like horrible, unbeatable games and just beat them. So he gets to the point where he's beaten like every bad game that like his local game shop has. And they were like, well, why don't you just try this new game, like Shangri-La Frontier? Everyone loves it.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I guess so. I could use like, like a cleanser to kind of,
Completely changed like
play
how
like a good game for once.
Like the angry video game nerd deciding to like actually play like a good game instead of just review bad games all the time.
Exactly.
Right.
So he like jumps into this and immediately he's like, oh my God, these mechanics are so much better than like the F tier games I'm playing.
Right.
But he's like, let me just see what kind of weird shit I can do. So like, right off the bat, he's like, I'm not going to put any equipment on so I can save all of my money. But he's like, I can get this bird mask for free. So I'll just rock a bird mask.
Right.
And then he like travels and immediately runs into like a game god that's supposed to be like a 1 in a million like
Spawn
encounter
rate. Right.
pretty much. And when he does that, he gets like cursed. So now he's like automatically jumps up to like a legend of the game. So that's what it's all about. And it's
goofy fun.
It's goofy fun.
It's like it's the Konosuba of the VR animes.
Yeah.
It's just fun. It's a like, because Konosuba is the mocking of isekais.
Right.
So this is like the mocking of those VR animes where it's
Exactly.
like, I'm in a virtual reality world, blah blah blah, blah. Like Log Horizon, Sword Art Online. There's others too, but
yeah, this is going to be the peak of it.
All right,
So
go ahead.
the manga is fantastic. I really hope the anime follows suit.
from what it seems, art style wise, the art looks fantastic. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the animation looks gorgeous.
so the one that's coming out that I'm obsessed with in the manga chat group, and I've mentioned this anime 1,000 times, so it does need no introduction in this podcast if you've been listening since episode 1.
I can't think of what you're
But
talking
I
about.
swear to God, 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You.
Is that the sequel to 100 Girlfriends That Really, 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 Really Love You?
Yeah, it's the sequel.
Okay,
to
so
the
he
prequel.
lost. So it's 99 Girlfriends because
Yeah, sadly, then a bitch ain't one.
it's like you didn't make the cut. Here's your red
Dang it.
rose. You voted off the island.
I'm excited for this one because it's the mockery of the harem anime,
Okay.
right? Like, because that's harem animes. It's Nisekoi did this, and God, there's so many other ones. I can't like think. Nisekoi is the one that like pops like most of my head because that one like pissed me off like with its ending. But like you got your standard anime guy. It's the main character, and a bunch of stuff happens, and he winds up having like 6 girls that he can choose from. But like there's always like the one right girl that's supposed to be for him.
Right.
And 100 Girlfriends Who Really, Really Love You, all of them are his girlfriend.
Are the right
like,
girl.
They're all every single one of them, and he loves them, and they're completely okay with having other girlfriends that join this like his family. And they all have like their own little quirks and stuff like that. You have the the main one of the main first girls is a tsundere. She's like super oh no, don't tell me you love me, stuff like that. And the other main girl's like a huge pervert. You have your cool one, the bookish nerd one.
Okay.
He even like seduces both a MILF, a teacher, and a G-MILF as well.
Nice.
Yeah. Like he just like just starts knocking them all
So he's
down.
just like level 20 charisma. Just
yeah. Literally level 20 charisma with like a level 20 charisma potion that he drinks constantly. Like he's just
he
always
just mainlines it with an IV.
right. He's just nat 20 in charisma every single time.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it's fantastic. So that anime is also coming out in the fall season. So
Okay.
we got our
so I have to. Since I've never read it before, maybe I'll watch it for you.
finally.
I might give you that.
I'm excited for it. I really am, because like it's been so long since like the same thing with Shangri-La probably for you. It's been so long since episode 1, chapter 1, that I don't really remember the beginning of the story.
Yeah, and it's
know?
gonna be like, I don't know. I'm sure you run into the same thing I do, where it's like you're trying to watch like episode 1, episode 2, and they're like trying to produce that hype, and you're like, yeah, it's hype, and I remember being excited about this happening, but like, just wait until 80 chapters from now. And
I think our issue with Mashal again was the fact that like that anime came out so soon after they announced like the manga. Like we all got into the manga.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like the early stuff in the manga was still fresh in our mind. Mm-hmm. So I mean, but that's
plus I've read Mashal like 9 times.
Yeah,
it's so freaking good.
I've restarted it like 4 or 5 times. Yeah. It's so good. I still need to finish it though.
Yeah, you do.
Because I go so long without watching it that I just need to restart it. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna restart it and just go from the beginning, and then I get further than I was last time.
One little step at a time.
One little step at a time. So other animes that are coming out that are worth talking about, because there's one that I do want to end on, but you got Faraway Paladin.
Okay. I've never heard of this one, so.
Faraway Paladin was a sleeper anime from a couple years ago. I think it was like not last year. Maybe it was last summer. Or maybe it was the summer before that. It was a summer anime.
Okay.
And it's I'd have to rewatch it a little bit, but it's pretty much I think it's an isekai. He gets reincarnated in another world, and this town where he's pretty much raised by like these heroes that were they died, and they live on like this like cursed land, and he gets trained. He pretty much gets raised and trained by them. One of them's like a mummy. She was a cleric mummy.
Cleric mummy?
Yeah.
So an undead that heals people?
Yeah.
That's pretty dope.
Oh yeah, it's great because like there's a little bit of comedy in it, but like there's like a very serious undertone to the series as well, because like she still like, because her curse, like I don't remember a lot of it, so since it's been a while I'll have to actually rewatch season 1, which is fine by me because the anime was fantastic. But from what I remember, she did something that caused her to be cursed into undeath. So she still, every day she has to do this ritual to her god to like allow her to use her clerical powers. And in doing so, the ritual that she undergoes, she gets basked in his divine essence, which pains her because she is undead. But she refuses to, give up on her patron deity, so she's always worshiping to him and everything like that. And it's really good. It's very much like Dungeons and Dragons, the anime.
Okay.
Did you ever watch Grimgar Fantasy?
No.
It's along that same style of like fantasy that really touches on like the seriousness of like an actual serious D&D campaign. Like if you were to actually like play with people and like play like a serious game.
Never.
Like never.
Never.
It's very rare. If you're playing a serious game at D&D, it's never with your friends. It's with people that like actually take the game seriously.
Right. That doesn't sound fun at all.
It kind of is, but yeah, sometimes like it's like the.
I'm sure the DM's a lot happier.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because like you don't have like
he's like,
people
oh my
flying
god, you're
around
progressing my
everywhere.
storyline.
Yeah. We're not trying to break the rules every 10 seconds.
We're allowed to walk into a village without me worrying about you robbing and burning it down.
Just murdering everyone.
Murdering everyone.
And trying to justify the murder.
Right.
Like, you're chaotic good. Why did you kill that nun? Well, you see.
She gave me the side eye. I'm pretty sure she was worshiping the wrong god.
She was definitely a worshiper of Bane, and I cannot allow that. So, yeah, the anime list for this year, I feel like we got to touch on one more because we're almost out of time. And you know what, two? So one is Eminence in Shadow Season 2. That's a manga that we both...
Yep.
That's one of the ones that we love.
Actually, that's another one where the anime I couldn't get behind.
Really?
Yeah.
But that's because you also like obsess over that manga.
The manga was so good compared...
I know.
The anime skipped so much.
It did. But I feel like it added stuff to the story that like... Because it had the whole intro sequence where like he saves the girl.
Right, and it's weird because it's...
There's things in it
I guess it's another thing where it was originally a light novel.
It was.
Which was adapted into a manga, which left things out but focused more on other things.
Right.
And then I don't know if maybe the anime is more based on the light novel.
I think it's like a mix.
But it's like, I learned new things, but then also things that like I was kind of excited for, they just like glazed over.
Right.
Like his whole like childhood, they just glazed over.
Yeah.
They jumped right into him being like Shadow. And it's like,
yeah, he was like Shadow.
I miss him like
episode
training
1.
with his sister and, discovering his slime suit and, going around and killing mercenaries. Like that was fun to me. But
so I'm excited because I think season 2 is definitely going to have, I think like the midway point is going to be the vampire arc.
Okay.
So
that was pretty dope.
I think
in the manga at least.
I think season 2 is going to end with him going back.
Where did season 1 end?
I think it ended just after the tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. So I think the vampire
he was like
next.
the weak hero and he had like the disguise on. Okay.
Yeah. So I think season 2 is going to end with him probably going back to Japan. I think so.
I don't know. That's a decent way away from the vampire arc though.
Yeah, but like there's like only one more arc after the vampire arc.
I could see them stretching that to season 3 though.
Maybe.
Because I mean that was kind of a big arc because you're talking about like the
I'm not saying
fake
like
king death thing and all that. Yeah.
I'm not saying like he goes like it's going to show the I think it's going to end with him going back to the real world.
Okay. Because in the manga they just came back from the real world.
Right.
So they would have to give a little bit of. Well, I guess if they're following the light novel, it doesn't matter. But,
yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Another anime that's worth talking about that's coming out that we both loved as well. I never finished this manga, but I really loved it, and it was one of those ones that like I followed on Mangadex before Mangadex went down, and I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Undead Unluck.
That's one where I was all about it, and then I just just one day I was like, I don't feel like reading this anymore.
I loved it to death, and then because my saved list got erased, so I'm like scrambling trying to remember like the 80-90 mangas that I was reading.
Right.
That I'm like, so some of them slipped through. It's weird because like sometimes I'll start one up and I'll be reading and I'm just like, oh yeah, I did read this one at one point.
Actually, no, I remember why I stopped reading this one because everything was getting really, really interesting. And then they did a let's flip the switch, and now the person that you thought was a nobody background character is now the main villain. And I was like, no.
Like Obito?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
He was like there, but he wasn't like you weren't paying attention to him. Because I don't know if you made it far enough to know like who they had like that council of like the
13.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like one of those guys. I was just kind of in the background, and it's like, oh, by the way, I've been orchestrating all of this. And
so it's literally Obito. Like it's Pain's supposed to be the bad guy, but it happened like twice in Naruto. You got Obito turned out to be the guy that was actually pulling the strings behind the
right. Well, it happened twice with Obito because then you were like, oh, he's not Toby, he's Madara.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not Madara, he's Obito.
Yeah, and then he's Toby.
Well,
no, Toby was his actual name.
Toby was who he was going as with the mask.
Yes.
And
Toby,
then everyone found out he had
Madara,
the Sharingan.
Then it was Obito.
Exactly.
And then Madara turned out to be real. And then
Kaguya. After they revived Madara, then they were like, well, who is this guy? And then Kakashi was like, wait a second, our Sharingans do the same thing. And then
oh, wait, no, you're my best friend.
Oh, my God.
So I love that we're like mocking Naruto when we both love.
We
Naruto.
loved it.
Yeah, so like,
You know what blows my mind? Like the last 200 chapters of that takes place over like 24 hours.
yeah, it's like only 20. Well, I mean, all of One Piece only takes place within the span of 9 months.
Yeah, which is except for the
Well,
3-year
the
time
2-year
skip
time
or
skip,
whatever.
but like the actual adventure only takes
Right.
9 months.
Yeah, I saw someone break that down, and they were like, getting to this island was 12 hours, and
Yeah, I'm like,
all of this arc took place in like 18 hours. It's like, I'm sorry, what?
yeah, because doesn't Dressrosa take place in one day?
I don't know. I don't think I made it
It's
that
one
far.
day. It's literally just one day. I think
Yeah.
Wano is like 2 or 3 days or something like that. Maybe a week.
Crocodile, I think, is like a long weekend.
Yeah, it's like just a happy weekend
Right.
fighting sand monster dude.
Yeah, the giant island, they were on that for like 35 chapters, and that's like an afternoon.
It was just like, yeah, it's just a tea party.
Right. They sat down, ate lunch, beat the shit out of each other, and then
Then
rolled
just
out.
left.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, we could talk about One Piece forever too. But you know what? That would be an episode.
That's an episode I will step aside
Yeah,
for.
I can do that with Youngster Dan.
Yeah.
And then the last anime that's worth mentioning, that I probably get some flack back for this one, but I don't care. I've been excited for this one since the first season ended, and that's Goblin Slayer season 2. Right? I know that. Look, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not an anime for everybody. It is not for everybody at all. If you have issues with sexual assault and like series, then this is definitely one that you want to skip immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 1 does not pull any punches. It goes hard, like 4 minutes into
But that's
it.
not like a continuous thing.
It's not a continuous thing.
Okay, it's just kind of what the whole story is based on.
It's a shock and pull kind of thing. The whole idea starts out with it's supposed to be like a fun fantasy series because at this time we had a bunch of fun fantasy animes that were running
Right.
rampant, and everybody was like, yeah, it's just like every other fun fantasy series. And then like not even 4 minutes into it, you just get some like really dark stuff that happens. I'm not going to go into it on the podcast, but
Right.
If you existed on the internet when Goblin Slayer episode 1 launched, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't need to go into it. But I am a big fan of dark fantasy. Like I said many times, you got Berserk, Helk, Claymore, and that's just that's like the main 3 that are like the super most popular ones. And I'm just throwing Helk in there because it's new.
Because you like it.
I really like Helk.
Yeah.
But Claymore and Berserk being the top
Yeah, I know
two.
Berserk is like number one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
by
is
far.
the number one most.
It is the number one by far.
If you had to give the number 3 spot to anything, I'd probably be Gantz. That would probably be the number 3
yeah.
dark fantasy.
That's one I invested a decent amount of time in
Yeah.
the reading, and then that just dropped off for me.
Yeah, it turns into like humans are like French fries and they're being eaten by
Yeah,
aliens.
I made it up to the
gets
point
wild.
where, I don't know, they were swimming in like a river, and there was
Yup.
skyscraper-sized aliens. And
Yeah,
I was just like, all right.
yeah, Gantz goes weird. But Goblin Slayer is something that I've been excited for since like season 1 ended, because like it just by eventually like midway through the season you get invested in the character, you get invested in Goblin Slayer. And so like it ends with like, hey, if we help you do this thing, then you got to go on a proper adventure with us. So like, like maybe we'll finally see maybe some levity in season 2, but judging on how season 1 was, we're probably not getting anything like fun. It's going to be dark and fucked up again.
Yay!
Yeah, I mean, those are the animes that I think were probably the animes that I'm the most excited for. I tend to watch more animes than you do. You're the manga guy.
It's easier.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that now, as like I've like fully committed to like the family role, where I'm just like, man, the only time I get to like watch my anime is like on my lunch break and my like paid
See,
break.
I just take those 45-minute poop breaks, and
Yeah.
that's a whole series right there.
That's the only time I get to watch anything is like when I'm just like, you know what? They're not gonna know that I'm out here in the cafeteria. So let me just pop in a real quick episode real quick.
There you go.
And yeah, I mean, honestly, that's how I've been keeping up with everything so far. And oh my god, me and the fiance, we just finally finished Spy Family.
Oh, it only took you 3 years.
Yeah, it took us like
Yeah.
forever. And I'm gonna throw shade at her because I know again she won't pay attention to this podcast at all.
Oh,
And I'm only throwing shade because like it was an anime that she saw and thought it was super cute and adorable and that she wanted to watch, and I was like, Let's go.
Just keep feeding the fire. We're
Yeah.
keeping a folder of every time you make fun of her, so we can
It's
post it and
just
send
to,
it to
like,
her. Yeah.
it's gonna be at my wedding. You're just
Yep.
gonna like have it like just like, and by the way,
Yep. I'm gonna just stand up, and be like, I know I wasn't allowed to give a speech, but if you would all focus right here,
right here on the screen, here's all the time Mike made fun of her.
exactly.
But yeah, so like Spy Family, I say the ones that I'm probably the biggest hype for this season are Faraway Paladin, Goblin Slayer season 2, and Spy Family.
I think.
And obviously 100 Girlfriends Who Really Really Love You.
Yeah,
Duh,
you might have
goes
said
without
that once or
saying.
twice. Some things we didn't mention, which I am kind of excited for too, is we're finally going to see the end of Attack on Titan.
Yes, sometime this fall we're supposed to get the
fall
final.
we're getting that final movie.
Yes,
And then we are also getting the re-release of Naruto, which
Yeah.
I'm pretty hyped about. So I think so far they've scheduled 4 episodes worth, which all the animation is going to be like completely upgraded, and then each episode is going to be like an hour and a half long, and rumor has it episode 1 is going to take you all the way through like the Chunin exam, and then episode 2 is going to be the whole like we need to find Sasuke arc.
Right.
So like where he gets like captured and put in or not captured. He
are
goes.
they gonna do like 4 episodes like that just retells the entirety of Naruto, and then maybe do another 4 episodes that retell the entirety of Naruto Shippuden instead?
That would be amazing.
I think that would be better.
I'll take an 8-episode miniseries to burn through
I would-
700 episodes of Naruto.
Because if you break it down, really, like truly, a little side tangent here. What you could do a movie for all the way through the Zabuza arc. You could do a movie that goes through the entire Chunin arc, and then you could do a movie that does the entire Finding Tsunade arc, and then
Yeah.
you could do a movie that literally is the Sasuke retrieval arc, and boom, that's 4 movies. That's all of Naruto right there.
Yeah.
Like-
And I'd be okay with that.
I'd be completely fine with that. And then what movie like Shippuden? How would you break that down? The
Finish it after like the
retrieval
Sasori thing.
the Garo retrieval arc,
Yeah. Yeah, that would definitely be one.
and then oh god,
What
Shippuden
comes
like
after that?
once you get to the war, everything kind of like muddles in the middle,
Yeah.
But I think after that, wasn't it
Then there's the
cigarette
whole-
dude guy,
the one there?
Shikamaru's mentor.
Yeah, I mean there is like that arc. I think you just break it down by like what Akatsuki member died.
Yeah.
So like right off the bat, you have the Sasori arc pretty much.
Story arc.
And then
Dita. Was
yeah,
he next?
I guess. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it's Shippuden gets weird. Yeah, because like I think we focus so much on the 4th Great Ninja War that it's like you kind of forgot everything else that happened. Because like I can definitely remember moments in Shippuden that were awesome. I mean, the Jiraiya arc alone.
Yeah,
like,
the Jiraiya arc was amazing.
the pain arc.
Pain
That's-
arc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
That
okay.
could be a movie. Just the entire Jiraiya all the way up until Naruto's beating him. That could be a movie.
That could be a movie. And then right after that, you pretty much have I guess we'll call it like the Toby saga, where
Yeah.
it's just like pretty much everything leading up to the war, and then the final movie could be the war.
Yeah, the
Like
actual
movie 3 could end with Madara being revived.
Yeah, and then the 4th movie would just be Madara all the way up through Kaguya.
Right.
Like, give us 8 movies. Yeah, just do that.
That's all I want.
Yeah, I would actually prefer that.
Yep. And then the other thing that is dropping is the Minato series.
Is that an actual anime or is that
I think it's a manga.
Manga first.
I think it's going to be a manga. I wouldn't be surprised if they animate it
is it
because I
gonna
think
be-
they're also going to animate the Sasuke story.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna. I think they announced they're doing the Sasuke.
Did they? Okay.
Yeah. But is it Minato like from kid to adult,
I don't know. I don't think they've officially released what it's going to be.
or is it like Minato like before, like in, like his
what
adult
I
age
want-
before?
I want Minato during the war.
Was he in the 3rd Great Ninja War? He wasn't in the Great Ninja War. Jiraiya was.
He was
Minato would have been a kid during that time.
when he was when he was training like Kakashi and all that stuff. They were in the war.
There was a war going on.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was the Great Ninja War. 'Cause
I don't think it was the
Jiraiya-
Great Ninja War, but I think it was.
There was
just
like a war going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you got Jiraiya was the one that was he was during the third Great Ninja War.
Right. That's how we got Pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what isn't Pain? Because Minato would have been a kid.
Yeah.
then
They
at that
stationed
time.
up at a. Yeah. So because Minato and Pain, I think, are about the same age.
Yeah.
Just
I think so.
one's alive and one's they're both dead.
Both dead.
But
Yeah, I was gonna say they're both dead.
at the time, one was alive. Kind of.
One of them was dead. The main body he used was his dead friend.
Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yay, Naruto.
like, just imagine that, dude. Like, you are literally, like, that'd be like if it was all three of us, and then Dan just dropped out of nowhere, and we just like decided to reanimate his corpse and like live our life through Dan's body.
You're like, oh, so sad. Anyway, I'm gonna fuck with you real quick.
Just like puppet string Dan. Are you okay with that, youngster Dan?
Puppet man.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
All right, cool.
Oh shit. So considering that tangent went off on a wild thing, should we wrap this
I
episode
think we
up?
should wrap it up. Because like, I don't really know any other animes really worth mentioning.
No,
I'm
I mean-
probably skipping on some. That's the thing is like with the spring anime, there was like 3 or 4 that came out that were like sleepers that I didn't know about. So there's probably like 3 or 4 that are in there somewhere that like people are probably like going like, oh my fucking god, what's wrong with you guys? How are
Why
you not
didn't you
talking
mention
about
this?
this one? So
If you're one of those people, leave a comment.
yeah, leave a comment. We'll check it out.
Yeah.
So,
So.
anyways, see you next week, everybody.
Adios, guys.
If you enjoyed that episode, make sure to join us here every Thursday on YouTube and Spotify as we drop new episodes of that good shit.
And don't forget to give us a follow on Instagram and TikTok for some solid filler content to get you through the week at Not Mike, Not Pat. You should be watching.